Hey, it's Dr. Karen Can, and today is another episode 49, I believe, of the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life series, which is a weekly series for an entire year around healthy habits. And these habits I've been talking about over the last year have not just been kind of physical healthy habits like, exercise and, things like that, but also mental and sometimes emotional or energetic kinds of habits. So today I'd like to talk about something I'll call future pacing. I believe I got this term from my mentor Marcus Bird. I'm not quite sure, but I really like this term, or at least my interpretation of what it means. So future pacing is a way that I've been living my life that has really served me, and maybe this will serve you as well. So, what is future pacing, at least from my interpretation or perception of what it is? It is literally expecting good things to happen in the future and preparing for them, while at the same time not actually having an attachment to that particular outcome showing up exactly the way that I've imagined it to show up. So there are many different ways of describing how this works, but I would like to give you some solid examples. For example, say you are an entrepreneur and you have decided to create we'll just say, well, I'll just use a jewelry business because that's something that actually have. So a jewelry business. So future pacing may look like, okay, well, since I'm going to have a shop, I'm going to go ahead and research things like how to do shipping, how to make barcodes, working on that one, labels, things like that, and start preparing for sales. So I look at, buy beads, I buy, cord, I buy whatever it is, right? I look for vendors, artists to work with, things like that. And the other, I mean, that seems very practical, right? So the other thing I wanted to share is, say, as an entrepreneur, again, give another example from my own life. There is in Lifeway, which is one of the network marketing companies I'm a brand partner with. Actually, the only network marketing company that I'm brand partners with. Um, there are, for example, awards, travel awards, things like that. And in the past, I would want to win these awards to feel better about myself. Like as a child, I was like, trophies and gold stars and, gold medals and all that kind of stuff because I didn't feel good about myself. And so I needed these outside things to prove that, that I was worthy. Now, since healed a lot of that. So, for example, if I intend, and for me, it's fun and as an experiment, just to put it out there, let go of attachment, and then let divine guidance inspire me on what to do next, which I find has been very, very helpful. So, for example, I have this background because I'm like, wow, that looks nice, right? I could go there now. This is not necessarily Aruba or wherever, LifeWave is taking us. But I was like, well, if I was to future pace and expect that I'm going to this trip, right? I'm going to put my Zoom background on. I'm going to be in that energy. I'm start planning on, like, different things that I really like to do when I travel. So I know this sounds somewhat funny to some people, but I actually am very particular about what I eat or how I eat on the plane, okay, and in the restaurants and things like that. So I'm so used to home cooked meals, farmers markets, organic food, like all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit like, when I go and travel and airplane food, right? So I've already bought and planned, like I've got, organic bone broth packages that are travel size. I've got lemon sips from Dr. Kelly Ann that are travel size. I've got, little travel size, what are they called? Blenders, right? Blenders. In my family, we used noises to explain something. So, instead of the microwave, we would just say ding. We'd say, can you please ding this for me? So I have all these terms from childhood. So yeah, bzz, bzz means like, blender. Anyway, so I've got portable blender. I've got these smoothie packages from Body Health Perfect Amino, which is like my new favorite vegan protein, also bone broth protein, but vegan protein. It's really awesome. So I'm preparing already these things. Already have partially packed. My little when we go to a warm place, I like to have a little hanger to hang my swim clothes so they can dry, because they don't always have a little hanger. So it's this little thing that you can string across, and then it's retractable so you can hang your clothes. Oh wait, no, it's not retractable. Anyway, um, so these kinds of things I already, kind of go, well, that, yes, I could really use that kind of swimsuit because I get kind of chilly in the water. So I want the ones with the long sleeves, things like that. So I'm already preparing to go. Now, am I attached to going to Aruba? No, it would be nice, but one of the reasons why I'm even preparing better than last year, because last year, literally the email came through is, "Hey, win this award and go to Tulum, Mexico," and I'm like, "That sounds cool," right? And that was it. I didn't actually future pace that one, but I won it, and then was scrambling like, now what do I do, right? And I ended up not going because of the mandates at the time, so I gave that trip up, because of having to stand firm and stand up for my ethics and yada yada. So, but the neat thing is that why not prepare ahead of time, right? If not this, something else better. That's my attitude. So future pacing can look like many different things, and literally is like preparing for success, like it's going to happen. So what do you need to do to make that happen, but is divinely inspired, not necessarily forcing yourself into a place where you're not ready, right? Yes, so yes, thank you so much. So there's some live folks on the call. Great to see you. I can't see your name, but it's so great to see you. So yeah, so if you have been future pacing something, I'd love to know what it is. Now, of course, high end elite athletes have been doing this for a very long time, right? They will, for example, when I worked with the Olympic bobsledders, they would visualize their bobsled run when they couldn't be there or be in the simulation. And some of these guys work full time to fund their training. It's amazing. And then they would train at night till 11 o'clock at night, to do their bob runs. And so they would literally do the run in their head. And I've done that with figure skating and things like that. In fact, in the past, my first coach, Jack, used to say, "Oh wow, you did better today. You must have practiced." And I'm thinking, in my head, baby, not on the ice. So that can be super, super helpful. You actually be there in the future already having succeeded, basically. So these Olympians would do that over and over again. And if they had a difficulty through a curve, they would, like in the bobsled, for example, they would practice that run until it felt good, until it felt really, really good. Right. At least that's what I would teach them. And they would do their own thing, whatever they were coached. So we do that for athletes, and they're very, very used to doing it that way. And they found in studies, and you can see a little summary of that in the movie The Secret, for one of the researchers, that the muscles will fire to some degree in the same pattern when you're imagining you're doing your athletic pursuit as when you're really, really doing it, which is fascinating. They've had increase in bicep strength, from imagining doing bicep curls versus actually doing bicep curls. There's other studies with basketball athletes, like, doing what do they call that? A 3-point throw. Obviously, I'm not a basketball player. Anyway, and they got much better at it, imagining that they were practicing. Of course, they have to know how to do it to begin with, but imagining they were doing it versus the people that actually practiced, they did pretty much just as well. So it's amazing how much we as a society do not use our imagination and minds as much as we could. Now, future pacing for things that you desire, awesome. How often, though, do we future pace things we actually don't desire? Disasters happening, worst case scenarioing, is that, if that's a word. So we do need to be mindful of what it is we fill our consciousness with, and thus seed the universe with our desires. Now, when we do stillness through observing internal movement, which is a technique I teach in my Sensitivity is Your Superpower book, chapter 4, when we go into that quantum realm, we are consciously then putting it out there. This is what we're seeding. This is the new reality. So I may, for example, look up, I haven't done it yet, a little behind, but I may, for example, look at pictures of Aruba. I may even ask the LifeWave staff. I said, where are we going? Right? And look at the hotel. Look at pictures of the hotel. Put it on my Zoom background. Imagine myself there. Imagine myself having a great time with my fellow team members and just enjoying the sun and enjoying the leadership and all that kind of stuff. I see my husband there. We're having fun together, right? So it's like literally doing what the athletes do, but without necessarily doing athletics. So that would be future pacing, like I said, and then getting ready. So, asking for the block, maybe blocking off that time. So if I know when we are traveling, I'll go ahead and block that out of my calendar already. My staff would be like, did you win? I'm like, not yet, but I'm going to block off my calendar. So that's what I'm talking about. So there's a very small percentage of the population who know to do this. Like I said, athletes know how to do this for their athletic lives. They may not know how to do it for the rest of their lives. You could imagine Christmas going smoothly. You can imagine your drive, from A to B being really smooth. I mean, there's so many different things that you can manifest. And I'm just kind of lumping it all into this future pacing. So definitely just being in that future. Yeah, exactly. So being in that future. Hey, Lil, that's who I was guessing it was. Being in that future and feeling it, embodying it in your new reality is huge. It's absolutely huge. Now, last but not least, I was going to mention something for the entrepreneurs out there. I remember Marcus saying this at one point, and my mentor from Wellness Leadership Academy, Kim, as well. We were having this discussion, and we were pre-recording videos around launching a VIP program or something like that. So we had to practice doing these videos. It was a little anxiety producing on the spot, but it was really, really fun. So as we're doing this, we were, video 3 or 4, whatever. It says, well, there's a few spots left for the VIP program. If you're still interested, book in a call with me and let's talk about this, da, 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 da. And I raised my hand and I'm like, how can we honestly and like in full integrity say there's a few spots left when we're pre-recording this, right? And we're not doing it live. So we're pre-recording it and we've got it kind of set on a sequence and Facebook. Like, I don't get how that works. That seems kind of disingenuous. And so that's when Marcus chimed in and he says, well, you're future pacing the actual truth ahead of time. You're telling the truth ahead of time. And I was like, oh, I get that, right? You're telling the truth ahead of time. You're literally saying to the universe, this is happening. You're helping me, and let's go. How cool is that? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little episode of Healthy Habits, Healthy Life, and Future Pacing. So I'd love to know from you, what are you going to be future pacing in the near future? If this resonates with you, please post a comment. Also, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button, notification bell, and the subscribe so you can subscribe to my channel and you will get notified every time I have a new video. And thanks for everyone that joined me live today. I wish you a very, very happy Sunday, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.